I didn't tell my child's biological mother that her rights had been terminated years ago. My ex, Sarah, and I got divorced when our son Thomas was 2. She wasn't a bad mom exactly, but she was 23 and wanted to travel more than parent. The divorce was messy because she'd cheated with some guy from her marketing job. She felt guilty about it, so she never fought me on anything. She'd see Thomas maybe twice a month and always paid her support on time, but you could tell she felt awkward around him, like she didn't know how to be a mom when she'd been such a garbage wife. I met Chloe when Thomas was 4 and we got married a year later. Chloe was incredible with him. She did the bedtime routine every single night, packed his lunches, learned to throw a football from YouTube videos because I was terrible at it. By the time he was 6, he was calling her mom and asking why his last name was different from ours. That's when Chloe brought up adoption. She wanted to make it official. I knew we'd need Sarah's signature, so I called her up. I expected a fight, but she just sounded tired. She said if it made things easier for Thomas to have the same last name as his family, she'd sign whatever. I think she still felt so guilty about the cheating that she'd do anything I asked. Here's the thing. I told her it was paperwork so Thomas could have Chloe's last name for school stuff. I didn't specifically say she'd be giving up her parental rights. The lawyer had explained everything to me about termination and adoption, but when Sarah showed up to sign, I just handed her the papers and said, "Thanks for being cooperative." She literally didn't read a single page, just signed where the lawyer pointed. The whole thing took maybe 15 minutes. Afterwards, she asked if she should still pick Thomas up on her weekends, and I said, yeah, we'd figure out a schedule that worked. Then she left. I never figured out a schedule. She'd text about seeing him, and I'd say he was busy with baseball or had a birthday party. After a few months, she stopped asking as much. I think part of her was relieved, honestly. She'd started dating someone new and didn't have to explain the whole kid situation as much. She still sent the child support every month like clockwork, but the visits just kind of faded out. I didn't push it, and honestly, neither did she. Thomas is 14 now. He barely remembers Sarah. Last month, she showed up at his baseball game out of nowhere, just standing by the bleachers watching. Thomas didn't even recognize her at first. After the game, she came over and said she wanted to be more involved now that she'd gotten her life together. She said her boyfriend left her last year and it made her realize she'd been running from responsibility her whole life. She had a good job now and her own place, and she missed her son. I told her we'd need to discuss it. She said she'd have her lawyer draw up a formal visitation agreement since we never had one in writing. She seemed genuinely excited about it. That's when everything exploded. Her lawyer called my lawyer and apparently lost his mind when he found out there was an adoption on file. Sarah called me screaming, asking when I was planning to tell her she didn't have a son anymore. I said she signed the papers. She said I told her it was just for school records. She showed up at my house 2 days later with her lawyer and 8 years of canceled child support checks. She'd been paying support this entire time for a child she had zero legal rights to see. Her lawyer said I'd committed fraud. I said she should have read what she signed. She said I deliberately misled her and she trusted me because she felt bad about how the marriage ended. Chloe told her to leave or she'd call the police. Sarah lost it and started yelling that Chloe stole her family. Thomas heard the whole thing from upstairs. He came down crying, asking why his biological mother was saying Aunt Chloe wasn't his real mom. That's what he calls Sarah now, Aunt Sarah, because that's basically what she is, legally. Sarah's threatening to sue for fraud and emotional distress. Her lawyer says the termination might be reversed because I obtained her signature under false pretenses. My lawyer says that's unlikely since she had every opportunity to read the documents and chose not to. But she also said a judge might not be happy that I clearly misrepresented what she was signing.